Okay, year sevens. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the fraction 1 on 8 and we're going to turn it into a percentage. Now, don't write down what I'm about to write down. I want to take 8 and I want to times it by something to make the denominator 100. What would I times it by? 8 times what gives me 100? Well, hopefully what you can recognize is that this doesn't work. There is no number that you can times 8 by to make it into 100. So we can't use the method that we used up here. The method that we used up here is we create an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. That no longer works. We can't do that. All right, so what are we going to do instead? What you're going to do instead is you're going to take your fraction and you're going to times it by 100 over 1. And then you're going to simplify it. So if I've got 1 on 8 times 100 over 1, I can now simplify it this way. I can say, what can I divide both 8 and 100 by? I can divide them both by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. So that means what I'm now going to get is 25, because 1 times 25 is 25, and 2 times 1 is 2. Now, once I've done that, what I normally do is do some short division. So remember, this is telling me how many times does 2 go into 25. So let's come over here and let's see if we can do it. And remember, I want you writing down everything that I'm writing down. That's how you're going to learn best. 2 divided by 2 is 1. How many times does 2 go into 5? It goes in twice with 1 remainder, because 2 times 2 is 4, and then I've still got 1 left over to get 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn this 25 into 25.0, and that 1 remainder, you're going to put it here. So now you're going to ask yourself, how many times does 2 go into 10? How many times 2 go into 10? It goes in 5 times. And you have to carry this decimal point up. So now I'm going to end up with 12.5. So that means 2 goes into 25 12.5 times. So 25 divided by 2 is going to be 12.5%. And that is going to be the percentage. So hopefully you can see the steps that we followed there. We first times it by 100 over 1. We simplified. We multiplied across. And then we did a bit of short division to get our answer. We're now going to do it a lot more times. So if you're still a bit fuzzy, hopefully by the end of this, you'll be more comfortable. But remember, if you're not comfortable by the end of all this, reach out to me and we can have a chat. Okay, the first thing you're going to recognize is that there's nothing I can times 40 by to make it into 100. So that's when you're going to use this technique of timesing the fraction by 100 over 1. And then you're going to ask yourself the question, how can I simplify this? Well, I can simplify this way. All right, first thing I would want to do is cancel that 0 with that 0. Then I've got 4 and 10, both of which are divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, once you've done that, you're then going to multiply across. So you're going to go 7 times 5 is 35, and 2 times 1 is 2. You then set up a bit of short division here. So you're asking yourself, how many times does 2 go into 35? 2 goes into 3 once with 1 remainder. How many times does 2 go into 15? Well, it goes in 7 times because 2 7s are 14, and that means I have 1 remainder. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn 35 into 35.0, and you're going to carry that 1 remainder down here. How many times does 2 go into 10? It goes in 5 times. And now you need to make sure you carry that decimal point up. So that means it's going to be 17.5%. That's going to be my answer there, 17.5%. So let's highlight that. Let's now move on to the next one. Again, you need to be showing all this working to me, people. You need to show me all this working. All right, so I'm going to times it by 100 over 1. And then I'm going to say, all right, I can cancel this way again. So that's going to leave me with what? I could divide them both by 4, couldn't I? 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. So that's going to leave me with now, when I multiply across, 10 times 25 is 250. 3 times 1 is 3. I then set up my short division here. How many times does 3 go into 2? Well, it doesn't. So that means you consider how many times does 3 go into 25? How many times does 3 go into 25? It goes in 8 times because 3 8s are 24 with 1 left over. How many times does 3 go into 10? 3 goes into 10 3 times because 3 threes are 9, but then I have 1 left over. So what I do is I make 250, 250.0, and I carry that 1 down. How many times does 3 go into 10? It goes in 3 times. I put another 0 down, and I carry the remainder of 1 down. How many times does 3 go into 10? It goes in 3 times. I put another 0 down, and I carry that remainder down. Hopefully you can see what's happening here. I'm just going to keep getting 3s there. So remember to put your decimal point there. The fact that I have a decimal point here means I have a decimal point there. This is going to end up being 83.333 recurring. So what we're going to do is we're going to round it. We're just going to say it's 83.3% and leave it like that. I can't remember what your textbook does. Your textbook might leave it as reoccurring, in which case you'll understand what it means when you see it. But in most cases, you can just round like that. Okay, let's now go to this one right here. Come here. I've got 1 over 15. You might like to pause the video and see if you can do this one for yourself. So what you should have done, let me grab that, is you should have times it by 100 over 1. All right, then you can say both of these can be divided by 5. So I'm going to go 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. And now I'm going to multiply across. I'm going to go 1 times 20 is 20. I'm going to go 3 times 1 is 3. Then I would set up my short division here. This is going to be 20. If you like, you can actually set up the 0.00 if you think things are going to, keep getting remainders here. How many times does 3 go into 2? It doesn't. How many times does 3 go into 20? 3 goes into 20. How many times? It goes in 6 times, doesn't it? Because 3 6s are 18. So I'll put a 6 there. And that means I have 2 remainder because I've got 18, 2 remainder. How many times does 3 go into 20? It goes in 6 times because 3 6s are 18. And that means I have 2 remainder. How many times does 3 go into 20? Hopefully you can see that we're going to get a reoccurring number again. It's going to be 666 recurring. Make sure you put your decimal point up here, just straight up like that. That means we're going to end up with 6 point. Now, I could round it to 67%, just like that. Okay, and just like that, we are all done. Those are our answers there, like this. We'll take a quick break and then we'll do these questions right here.